So, you know, some people have actually accused me of hammering home this point, maybe a little bit too much, but I really can't stop because I am never ever going to forgive the people who talked about Tulsi Gabbard as though she was a viable, possibly even preferable alternative to Bernie Sanders. Please take a look at this.
Joining me now, former Congresswoman from the great state of Hawaii, Tulsi Gabbard. Hey, Tulsi, how are you?
Aloha, my friend. It's good to talk to you, as always.
Likewise. All right. I used to turn to you when we were serving together for guidance. Tell me what the cancel culture is and why we should be concerned with it.
Well, you rightly started this conversation talking about freedom. When you look at the foundation of our democracy, it is based on this ideal, this principle of freedom.
Hold on. If somebody asks you, what is cancel culture? And your opening is, our country is about freedom, then you are about to demonstrate to everyone watching that you have no fucking idea what freedom actually is. Freedom does not mean freedom from criticism. What do we mean by cancel culture? We do this cycle every single goddamn time. It's utterly meaningless. Like, there's no value to be derived from this conversation. What is cancel culture? Well, here in America, we believe in freedom. And I don't know how that relates to what happened to Dr. Seuss, but I am still real mad about it. Like,
of speech, freedom for every single one of us to be able to share our ideas and debate them, to argue them, to agree or to disagree, to pick and choose.
Wait, hold on. To agree or to disagree? Look, if you want to have a conversation about cancel culture, maybe you can argue people are too trigger happy when it comes to canceling shit. Whatever. Okay, fine. I'm here for it. I've made those arguments. But if you're unironically trying to tie this to your First Amendment rights, can somebody give me an example of an instance where cancel culture infringed on people's First Amendment rights? Oh, hey, I can. I can think of such an example. It was when Donald Trump advocated that people who burn the American flag should have their citizenship revoked. That one right there. That's a good one. Oh, hey, what's another good one? Right now in Kentucky, the state legislator is trying to pass a law that would make it illegal to insult police officers. They could arrest you for that. Now, those are actual First Amendment violations. Are we talking about that over here on Fox News? No, of course we're not. We're talking about cancel culture.
In this marketplace of ideas, those that we deem to be right or wrong, to be superior or inferior, and even for those ideas that may be misleading or dangerous, that in this free marketplace, we have the right to then defeat those ideas with superior ones, and others have...
I can't believe people talked about her like she was a progressive. Jesus Christ. This sounds like Ben Shapiro rhetoric. What did she even say that made people think she was a conservative? Was it, a progressive? Was it the fact that she sounded like an isolationist? Was that the only thing? She didn't even talk, by the way, about, like, no longer involving ourselves militarily abroad. She was a supporter of drone strikes. Was that, like, the only thing?
Have the freedom to choose what they want to believe or not to believe, or what they want to adhere to.
She's saying nothing,
when you look
way.
at this question,
Absolutely
what is cancel
nothing.
culture? Cancel culture is the opposite of this. It is exactly the opposite of this foundational principle of our democracy. It means that in a cancel culture, you have some people who believe that they are special, that they are superior, that they have the power to be able to shut down those who have ideas and views that are different, who may...
Yeah, this is utterly incoherent. What does she mean by shut down? What are we talking about? Are we talking about government officials? The First Amendment is only about protection from the state. What are we talking about right now? This means nothing. Absolutely nothing. There you go, YouTube chat. Go crazy. This means nothing. It's devoid of meaning. You know what it means? It means that Tulsi Gabbard wants a commentator slot on Fox News. That's it. I don't know how people didn't see this coming, you know, personally. And now we honest to God, we still have leftists who stand Tulsi Gabbard, who actually think that she's like the best leftist candidate out there. Usually these people are interminably stupid. What was that? That Nico House guy who pals around with neo-Nazis and didn't know the definition of fascism. And then you have that socialism MMA guy who I had to talk to like a child. I wish I had brought some keys to jingle in front of his face. You know? That's what we're dealing with. That's like the Tulsi fandom. Oh, and of course we have Jimmy Dore.
Follow a path that they deem to be the wrong path and will therefore say, nope, we're going to place obstacles in front of you. We're going to silence certain voices
how?
So that only those who agree with us in the path that we deem to be right is the one that is before you to choose. And the issue with this, there's a few issues, but the main issue with this is when you look at our rights and freedoms and our ability to debate them and respectfully come out the other end agreeing or disagreeing, as you and I have over the years, it's based on the fact that we are all children of God. And
Man, she really does sound identical to a Republican. I'm genuinely asking you people, has her rhetoric shifted that much, or was she like this back during the 2020 Democratic primaries as well? Like, how far did this go?
Recognizing that, we then treat each other with respect and respect this freedom that we have. So let's look down the path and say, okay, well, where does this cancel culture lead us? You see the final expression of cancel culture in Islamist terrorist groups like ISIS and Al-Qaeda.
And there it is. And there it is. This is so picture perfect to me for so many reasons. First of all, the utter brain rot, just the pure mental degeneracy that you have to possess in order to believe that cancel culture, this nebulous, poorly defined nonsense term, which she is, by the way, not described in any sense. She was talking about the First Amendment. Then she was saying cancel culture is when people put themselves on pedestal. I have no idea what this means. None whatsoever. But then she goes ahead and says that it leads to ISIS. It's funny because this is actually identical to warmongering neoconservative rhetoric. The one thing that people always gave her props for, that she was anti-war, anti-interventionist, she is now completely backed off of, because there is nothing more warmongering, nothing more incendiary than the assertion that people who are on the opposite side of you on the culture war are like ISIS. I mean, what kind of thought process does that enable exactly? Oh yeah, the people who made Dr. Seuss take down those books, which were, by the way, people at the publishing company. It was their own decision. Those people, if left alone, will turn into a death cult armada that will run through the streets of America beheading infidels. What are we talking about right now? It's deranged on so many levels, I don't even know where to begin. We could start at the fact that right-leaning people are far more likely to commit acts of terror or to attack people over ideological disagreements. We could begin with the fact that she doesn't seem to know what cancel culture is and only seems to be following a set of talking points given to her by her Fox News overlords so that she can inch ever closer to a host slot, you know? Again, like, I don't even know how I'm supposed to talk about this. It's deranged. This woman was in Congress. Deeply unpopular back in Hawaii, too. As I understand it, deeply unpopular back in Hawaii. Does anyone remember that? Chats are working differently for different screens. Oh, God. Oh, no, it's just down again. Well, whatever. Deeply, deeply unpopular.
Who basically go and behead those who are they deem to be infidels or heretics in order to silence them, in order to protect others from being misled by those heretical ideas in the eyes of an ISIS or Al-Qaeda. And so when we look at cancel culture here at home,
and you can actually see the Fox News host. He's actually like in his head. He's like, is she selling it enough? Like, okay, yeah, she's doing a good job here. You know, he's looking at her the same way that a like an interviewer would look at a prospective employee right now. What he just asked was, what's your greatest weakness? And her answer is like, my greatest weakness is it's that I work too hard for the company. I have a strange psychiatric condition that compels me to do favors for my boss and to work overtime without pay. And I've been told that it's a great weakness, but personally, I'm just the way I am. And she's like lapping the boot, and this guy's like, okay, all right. Cancel culture leads to ISIS. Jesus.
We see those efforts to cancel or silence those that they don't want the people to hear from, those who may offer a different idea than the one that those in power want people to see or to hear or to be exposed to. And so this is, when we look at the foundations of our democracy, this is the danger of where this path leads us.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think that of all of the Democratic primary candidates back in 2020, she actually may have ended up being the most sinister, more so than Bloomberg even. I mean, it's like that Nosbol Vortex shit, right? She took some shots at Hillary Clinton, and I liked that, but hey, Nazis take shot at big business sometimes. It doesn't necessarily mean you end up agreeing with them. This is ridiculous. I don't even know why I'm dignifying. I unironically feel like I'm platforming nonsense by watching this right now. Cancel culture leads to ISIS. I mean, need not be said that ISIS was a radicalized far-right paramilitary group that was inspired by religious rhetoric and a deep xenophobic hatred of those who they perceive to be both degenerates within their culture and threats from without their culture. But, I'm sure that describes teens on Tumblr more than it does the current Trumpist far right. Yeah.